Hello YouTube, Joey here from TeamBurningInfinitey, bringing you another deck profile, and this time we got Legend with Fairies. Fairies is a very interesting deck. It is a mill-based deck, drop zone reliant, and gains several effects from having cards in the drop zone. So this is a very fun deck to me. I didn't make it very competitive. It does have some competitive cards and combos in here, but to me it's more of a fun deck and it's very enjoyable to play at times, and other times I just hate this deck. So let me know what you guys think about it. And let's jump straight to it. So our flag is Legend World, because that's the world fairies live in. And our buddy is Carved Stallion of Dreams, Duelahast. Duelahast is, I'll go over him later when we get to him. I think this card's pretty cool. So for our monsters, we're starting with 4 Keiichi and Boots, our size 0. Keiichi is a 2/1/2 size 0 who has 2 abilities. His first ability is Gift of the Marquee. When there are 10 or more fairies in the drop zone, if you have an item equipped, it gains 3 critical. And his second ability is when this card is destroyed and sent to the drop zone, send the top 3 cards of your deck into the drop zone with it. Or, not 3, 2. So, that's it for Keiichi. Keiichi's a great card. He gets a hilarious combo out if you have him, Oberon, and any 2 to 3 crit weapon, which I don't run 3 crits in this variant, but yeah. Then we run 4 Fairy Knight Daionshi. Daionshi is a spin nail clone, so he has 6,000 power, 2 critical, 2,000 defense, and he cannot be called to the center. So he's basically there to just be a beater. Very nice. And he has Fairy and Hero attribute, which is a great plus to the deck. Then, for our next monster, we run 4 copies of Loyal Unicorn. Loyal Unicorn is a 3,000 power, 2 critical, 1,000 defense monster. And it has the ability of when this card enters the field, if you have another Water Call or Fairy monster on your field, you may discard a card from your hand, and if you do, draw a card. It's Water Call Fairy attribute, but you know, the real reason you play it is because it's Fairy, and it's got the discard and draw ability, so it allows you to filter your hand out, which is really nice. And then, play 4 copies of our buddy, Carved Stallion of Dreams, Duelahast, probably my favorite size one in the deck. He is a 4,000 power, 2 critical, 3,000 defense, size 1. He has decent hitting power and good critical to match his ability. Oh my god, I forgot this thing has a name again. For a Tranquil Slumber. Basically when it enters the field, you mill the top 3 cards of your deck. So it just helps rack up fairies and heroes in your drop zone for other cards. And then, that's it for the size 1s. For the size 2s, play 2 copies of King of Forest Zlatarog. Zlatarog is a 3,000 power, 2 critical, 2,000 defense monster with the ability to put the top 2 cards of your gauge into the deck when top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge when he enters the field. We play him for gauge excel because at times this deck can be gauge heavy, and other times it's basically non-gauge usable. Or in other words, you don't use gauge. I probably worded that horribly wrong, but my bad. So yeah, we just play him for the effect and also the extra monster, I guess. Play 3 copies of Fairyland Shoemaker Leprechaun. Leprechaun's a 5,000 power, 2 critical, 4,000 defense monster with the ability of if there are 4 or more fairies in your drop zone, this card gains double attack, and it's free to call. So basically free double attack at almost all times is amazing. We only run 3 because if you have 4, it kind of clogs early game. It sucks early game, so yeah. Try and save these things for like the mid to late game. That's when they shine the best. Play 3 copies of Valkyrie Brilliant Brynhilder. Valkyrie Brilliant Brynhilder here has 5,000 power, 2 critical, 3,000 defense. Its call cost is pay 1 gauge and put the top card of your deck into the soul. And it has 2 abilities consisting of Move and Soul Guard. We all know what Move does and we all know what Soul Guard does. So it's just great because it's a hero attribute card. It basically lets you to gain soul and it has moves, so combos with your weapons. Good hitting power at 5,000. Cheap to call. So great thing about it. Then we play 4 copies of Dashing in the Moonlight Red Cap. Red Cap has 5,000 power, 2 critical, 5,000 defense. He has a 1 gauge call cost. And he has a counteract ability of during your opponent's turn on an attack declaration, you can put this card in the field of the drop zone, and if you do, nullify an attack. Does not have any conditions to use this effect other than setting itself in the drop zone from the field. So it's basically extra nullifiers with power, defense, and critical. And you can stop Spectral Strike, Penetrate, and all those lovely things aside from spell nulls, and yourself from losing. So that's why we run Red Cap at 4. And then we play 3 copies of Fairy King Oberon. Oberon's 9,000 power, 2 critical, 7,000 defense. He has a 2 gauge call cost, and he has the ability, if there are 7 more fairy and hero attribute cards in your drop zone, you can nullify the effects of all monsters on your opponent's side of the field. So he's basically a walking Great Fate Frozen Stars for monsters. Really, 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 really good stopping Solgar, Spectre Strike, Penetrate, Counterattack, and all those annoying things. And then we have Double Attack, just because kill. Oh yeah, Oberon's effect cannot be nullified. So that's the other good thing about it. Well, Oberon's effect of nullification, its Double Attack can be nullified. Now into spells. We play 2 copies of Heroic Spirit because it combos well with things like Oberon and Brilliant Brynhildr. So yeah, that's pretty much why I play it. We play, it's the hero attribute Dragon Energy, just so anyone who didn't know. We play 2 Death Summoning Tears of the Banshee. Death Summoning Tears of the Banshee may only be cast when you have 6 or more fairies in your drop zone, and it lets you destroy any card in the field for free. So basically free removal, that's very powerful, that's why we run that. We play 2 copies of Symbol Guard. Symbol Guard is a card that may only be cast when you're at 6 or less life. You can cast this card for free if you have Breathing Guard in your drop zone. It has a 1 gauge cast cost, and basically you can draw 2 cards and you may only use 1 per turn. Speaking of Breathing Guard, we play 3 copies of that. This has a 2 gauge cast cost, and it has the counter ability of when your opponent casts a spell, you can nullify that spell, or you can destroy a set spell in the field, and that can be used at any time, whether it be counter or not counter. So, set spell destruction and spell null mixed into 1 card, very, 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 very nice. That's all I'm going to say about that. And to sum up our spells, we're playing 4 of the Battle Aura Circle Clone, our Nullifier, Holy Grail. I would consider running the Solomon Shield clone in this, but I don't know yet. It is a very nice card, and it stops extra attacks on things like Red Cap and Oberon, so you know what? Maybe. But Holy Grail is basically a card that can only be cast on attacking your opponent's turn, and if you have a center, you can if you don't have a center, you can nullify an attack. And that's it for spells. Now for items. We play 1 Great Demonic Sword, Clarent. Or not Clarent, Claret. No, wait, Clarent. It has a 1 gauge equip cost, and it has the ability, if there are 4 or more hero or 100 demon in your drop zone, this card can destroy an item when it deals damage to your opponent. So it's mini Orthros, and it is equipment change. More Legend World weapons. Typical Dragon Hate, we run 2 copies of Dragon Vanquishing Sword Balmung. Balmung is a 3,000 power, 2 critical weapon, free to equip, and he has the ability of when this card attacks a dragon attribute card in your field, or your opponent's field, destroy that card immediately. So it does not require the attack to be a success. It can be nullified, and you would still get a pop with this sword. So that's the very nice thing about it. And then we have our item White Dragon Shield, Divine Protection Pridwin. When you would be dealt damage, you can pay 2 gauge, and if you do, reduce the damage you take by 2. Counter equipment change, or as counter, equip this card from your hand, and equipment change. So very nice. And then we have 2 copies of Divine Spear Gungnir. Divine Spear Gungnir is a very nice, powerful card in the Legend World item lineup, and it is 5,000 power, 2 critical, free to equip, but it has the backfire. If this card is equipped at the beginning of your turn, you take a damage. It has the Penetrate ability and equipment change. So the main combo with this card is to bounce it back and use Pridwin with it and just switch between the 2 items every turn. The best time to equipment change is either when your current item is about to be destroyed, or if you are about to lose, you could use Pridwin's effect to save you, or at the end of your opponent's turn, just so you don't take the damage on your turn. And now, for our impacts, we play 2 King's Wave Caliber and Glyph. Caliber and Glyph is a great card. Basically, you may only cast this card if you have 4 or more different hero attribute cards in your drop zone, and you have to pay 2 gauge to cast it. Counter destroy all monsters and spells on the field, so you destroy all set spells and monsters on the field. Does not nullify things like Soul Guard, but is great board wiping for major recoveries and gaining your presence back. So that is it for the fairy hero deck. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I may have called this pure fairies earlier. I would call this more fairy heroes now that I think about it, because I do run a fair amount of hero cards. I'm probably going to be converting this to a pure fairy deck soon, because I'm making Legend World Heroes as well. That's another fun deck, and you know what? I'm probably going to be transferring some of the hero-based stuff from here to there. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share for more Buddyfight content. And if you guys have anything you want to see, want to know, etc., leave that in the comments down below. And that's it for the video. If you guys see an ad you like, click it. If you don't see one you like, leave it alone. Thanks for watching. Joey from TeamBurningInfinitey signing out. Peace.